It started with a whisper, then gasps, then cameras. On a quiet Friday morning, in the middle of one of the most high-profile criminal trials in hip-hop history, a familiar figure stepped out of a sleek black car, dressed head to toe in white. White leather pants, white hoodie, white boots, and of course those signature dark sunglasses. It was yes, Kanye West, music icon, fashion disruptor, controversy magnet, had arrived at the courthouse where Sean Diddy Combs is fighting for his freedom. No announcement, no entourage, just him and Diddy's son, Christian, walking side by side through security as the press scrambled to capture the moment. But what happened next only added to the mystery, because within minutes, Kanye wasn't seated beside Diddy. He wasn't called to the witness stand. He didn't speak to reporters or even interact with the judge. Instead, he was quietly redirected to a glassed-in overflow room on another floor, where he sat alone, watching the trial unfold on a monitor, away from the main action. And then, as fast as he came, he was gone. No one saw him leave. No statement was made. And yet his presence changed the entire energy of that courtroom. Why was he there? What message was he trying to send? And why now? In the middle of testimony so explosive, even the judge had to pause proceedings. Whatever Ye was doing, it wasn't random. Not with him, not now. And the timing couldn't have been stranger. To understand why Ye showing up made headlines around the world, you have to understand what he walked into. This isn't just any trial. This is the federal government versus one of the most powerful figures in music, Sean Diddy Combs. And the charges? They're nothing short of jaw-dropping. RICO, sex trafficking, drug distribution, assault, blackmail. Prosecutors say Diddy ran what they call a full-blown criminal enterprise, where fame, money and fear were used like weapons. Allegations going back years. Multiple women testifying under code names. Explicit messages, secret videos, even a bag allegedly filled with drugs and cash, hidden in plain sight. And Diddy? He's facing life if convicted. His legal team calls it a witch hunt. But every day, more stories come out, from former assistants, ex-girlfriends, even bodyguards. Stories that paint a picture of a world few people outside the inner circle have ever seen. So when Kanye West walked through those doors, right in the middle of that storm, it wasn't just a celebrity drop-in. It was a signal. But a signal of what? Was it support? A warning? Or something else entirely? The public was still processing the accusations flying through the courtroom that morning when Kanye made his entrance. And that's what makes this next part even more suspicious. Because just hours before Ye arrived, a witness had mentioned something, or someone, that would send the internet spiralling. The courtroom was already tense, but when one of Diddy's accusers, a woman testifying under the name Jane, took the stand that morning, things took a turn no one expected. Jane described what she called king nights, late night, hotel encounters set up by Diddy's assistants, involving outfits, oils, drugs, and other women. But it wasn't just the rituals that shocked the courtroom, it was who she mentioned next. In the middle of her testimony, Jane hinted at a well-known married rapper who allegedly attended one of these secretive Vegas parties. She didn't name him, but she referred to him only as Anton, a thinly veiled alias. She claimed he flew her out on a private jet, that there were strippers, that things got intimate, and that Diddy knew all about it. Instantly, the courtroom buzzed, and, outside the courtroom, the internet exploded. Fans and bloggers wasted no time connecting dots. Anton, they claimed, had to be someone massive, someone with private planes, someone Diddy knew, someone who could walk into a federal courtroom and stop the show, just by being there. And guess who had just arrived that morning dressed in full white? Yeah, that's when the speculation took off. Was Kanye West the mysterious Anton from Jane's story? Was that why he came to court? To monitor the situation? Or maybe even to make a silent statement? No one said his name. Not the lawyers. Not the judge. Not even Jane herself. But in this trial, silence speaks louder than words. And Kanye's silence, it was deafening. While the courtroom buzzed with testimony, Kanye wasn't sitting with Diddy. He wasn't beside the legal team. He wasn't even in the courtroom itself. Instead, he was in a separate room. Alone. The court placed him in an overflow viewing area, a glassed-in space with a monitor streaming the proceedings. No one expected him to stay long, And he didn't. He barely stayed 30 minutes. No one spoke to him. He didn't approach the press. And from what we know, he barely moved. Just sat there, watching. It was Eerie, the world's most outspoken artist, the king of outbursts and mic drops, sitting in total silence as scandal after scandal unfolded on the screen in front of him. Some witnesses wept, others accused. The entire trial teetered on chaos. And Kanye, unmoving. It was the exact opposite of everything we've come to expect from him. No sudden rant, no cryptic quotes, not even a dramatic exit, just a quiet departure, out a side door without saying a word. But that's exactly what made it so strange. Because when Ye's in the room, he's usually the story. This time, he let the mystery speak for him, and the internet noticed, instantly. Within hours of Kanye slipping out the side door, the internet lit up like wildfire. Screenshots of Ye in the hallway, blurry photos of him in the white hoodie, a single clip of him nodding silently beside Diddy's son in the lobby. That was all it took, and suddenly, the theories began. Some said he was showing support. Others claimed he was trying to intimidate a witness. A few even whispered that he was Anton, the mystery rapper mentioned earlier in testimony. Even though there was zero confirmation. But let's be real, in the court of public opinion, facts don't always matter. Within hours, Kanye West was trending. Again. Anton. No, yet caught. Even conspiracy threads began popping up, decoding his outfit, the colour white, the fact that his wife, Bianca, wasn't with him that day. And then came the reaction from inside the industry. Bloggers, reaction channels, even. Former collaborators chimed in. One post said, "You didn't say a word, and he's still the headline." Another joked, "Only Kanye can walk into a RICO trial and leave everyone asking if he's the secret boss." But beneath the jokes, there was tension. People started asking, why now? Why this case? Why this moment? When the trial is reaching its breaking point. And the timing was no accident, because just days earlier, Ye had been spotted in New York. And the night before, he and Bianca were photographed leaving a private event together. So this wasn't some last-minute decision. It was planned, calculated. But for what? That question still has no answer. To some people, Kanye's appearance might have seemed random. But the truth, it wasn't. Because behind the chaos and speculation is a long and surprisingly deep connection between Kanye West and Sean Diddy Combs. A connection that's rarely talked about, but never really went away. Over the years, Ye has spoken publicly about how much Diddy influenced his early career. He's called Diddy a pioneer, a mogul, a blueprint. And even during Ye's own most controversial moments, Diddy stood by him. Sometimes quietly, sometimes not. But here's where it gets even more interesting. In March, just after Diddy's homes were raided, Kanye posted and deleted a message that simply said, "Free my brother Puff." And in leaked audio from a jailhouse call, Diddy can be heard thanking Ye personally, not just for the support, but for looking after my family and being someone he could trust. So when Kanye walked into that courthouse on June 13th, it wasn't just a publicity stunt, it was personal. But for someone like Ye, nothing is just personal. Because this is the same man who once hijacked a live broadcast to call out the president. The same man who wore a white mask to a Paris fashion show, sparking months of speculation. The same man who never shows up somewhere without a reason, and when that reason isn't obvious, it's usually hidden beneath the surface. So now fans are asking, was Ye trying to send a coded message? Was this loyalty or leverage? Because with Kanye, it's never just about being seen, it's about being felt. So what was Kanye really doing there? Was it loyalty? Standing by a man the world is ready to cancel? Or was it leverage, reminding everyone, including Diddy, that Ye still holds weight even in a courtroom? Or was it something darker? Because, here's what we know. Kanye didn't need to be there. He wasn't subpoenaed. He wasn't testifying. He had no legal reason to show up at all. But he did. And he made sure the world saw it. Dressed in white, silent, watching. And the truth is, no one really knows what Ye is planning. Not the media, not the fans, maybe not even the people closest to him. That's what makes him dangerous and magnetic, because when Kanye West steps into a story, the energy shifts. The headlines change, the spotlight moves, and sometimes it's not the words that matter. It's the silence, especially in a trial like this, especially when names are being kept secret, when powerful people are being protected, when stories are being buried under layers of NDAs, private settlements and sealed court records. Maybe Ye was just showing support for a longtime friend. Or maybe he was sending a message to everyone watching from the shadows, a reminder that in a world full of scandals, silence isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's the setup before something bigger. And if you know anything about Kanye West, you know the next move is never what you expect. Kanye West didn't speak that day. He didn't testify. He didn't pose for photos. He didn't post a single word online. But somehow, he still stole the entire show. In a courthouse filled with federal agents, celebrity lawyers, and a man fighting for his legacy, Ye showed up for just 30 minutes and became the only thing anyone could talk about. Why? Because Kanye doesn't just show up. He doesn't move without meaning. And in this case, meaning is the one thing no one can agree on. Some say he came to show loyalty. Others think it was a calculated disruption, a warning shot from someone who knows exactly how power works in the spotlight. A few even believe he came to keep a secret from surfacing, one tied to him. But the truth? We still don't know. What Kanye was really doing in that courthouse, and maybe that's the point, because sometimes the loudest message is the one that never gets said. So now the trial continues, the testimonies get darker and the headlines keep coming. But one figure lingers quietly in the background. A man in white, a watcher behind the glass, gone without a word, but not without leaving a shadow. And the question no one can shake is this: was Kanye watching the trial, or was he watching who was watching him?